Welcome back to another episode. Today we got a lot to cover. We're going to take a closer look at Supermicro. We're going to look at some form of nuclear power stocks. We're also going to look at a lot of things impacting the overall space today. So let's take a closer look in today's episode.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
All right, so first, I want to start off here with Supermicro. The stock is down roughly 4% on the day, and this is a stock that actually has been doing not that strong in the past 5 days. The stock is down roughly 10%, but in the past month, the stock is up roughly 20%. Now, remember, during this massive UAE event and UAE trade deal, we did see that Supermicro did win a few contracts to build data centers, and that got pretty exciting for Supermicro shareholders. But we can see that in the past few days, this company has submitted a few SEC filings that deal with kind of changes to security ownership. And one of them really caught my attention. So on this one was for May 20th of 2025, we can see the CFO sold a nice amount of shares. He sold roughly 67,000 shares at about $44. I do believe that was near the peak of this kind of excitement that the company saw during the UAE event. So around here of May 19, about $44. Now, normally I don't look at things like insider selling unless it's a company that has been kind of seeing some negative sentiment due to random issues with regulatory issues or reporting issues. And for the CFO, right, someone very crucial in something like that, to be selling a good position of shares, they sold about $3 million worth of shares. That's how much it counted. And it was roughly about 40% of their overall position. That's another big amount of kind of red flag. So I do believe this is creating some negative pressure for the stock right now. Obviously, they sold at a great value. The stock from there is down roughly 11%. So let me know in the comments below. Are you guys worried about kind of the selling off here from Supermicro Computer CFO? Or is this a nothing burger? Again, more because of the past and the size of the position, it is something to kind of keep a closer eye on. Now, taking a closer look at more kind of global impacts, and the most global impacts is we did get some posts from the President of the United States, Donald Trump, about some unfortunate trade issues. Well, the first one we're going to look at is the European Union. He kind of talks about manipulations with this against the USA. So he is recommending a straight 50% tariffs on the European Union starting on June 1st of 2025. So here, this is going to add to overall volatility to the market, in my opinion. I personally, though, I am enjoying the volatility as a long-term shareholder. The reason being is if one of my stocks sees a massive downturn due to this overall volatility, I wouldn't mind scooping more shares up, right? We did a lot of heavy buying in kind of that April crash. I'm not saying we're going to get to anywhere of those April crashes again, but at least I do know that the volatility could continue, and it gives me the time to be patient. Don't go out there rushing to buy stocks when things are looking amazing and stocks are rising like no tomorrow. I tend to be a little bit patient and see for that volatility on the way down. Now, outside of that, there was also another issue that Donald Trump brought up, and this was more to Apple. So he mentions that he has long ago informed Tim Cook of Apple that he expects their iPhones that will be sold in the United States of America will be manufactured and built in the United States, not India or any place else. If that is not the case, a tariff of at least 25% must be paid by Apple to the US. So obviously, I'm gonna guess Apple stock is taking kind of a hit today. If we look right now, Apple stock is down roughly 3% on the news. For a big market cap company, obviously that is kind of a big deal, especially when the other Mac 7. I mean, we can see Amazon is down 0.5%, Microsoft down 0.5%, even NVDA only down about 1% at the market. So Apple is taking a huge beating. Now, the reason I think this is actually crucial for the semiconductor market is I do believe a lot of components are, and it and consumer goods are not going to be built in the United States. So now this opens up again the uncertainty of a lot of consumer electronics. And obviously consumer electronics are powered by a lot of semiconductor devices. So if there is more tariffs added to consumer electronics that are not being built here in the United States, what is that going to do with the consumer spending? Is it going to create massive headwinds for the consumer electronic market? And if so, what is going to happen with the semiconductor industry, right? So those are kind of the follow-on questions that come with this, and that uncertainty, I believe, is something that maybe the tech and semiconductor stocks are going to be following a little bit more. Now, there are some reports that happened yesterday, and we still haven't really gotten a full update. But nuclear stocks rally on reports that Trump will sign executive orders to support the industry. You do see a lot of nuclear stocks go up a nice amount. Oklo, for example, was up roughly 25.4%. Now, bringing it back to the semiconductor industry and to companies like NVIDIA, obviously, one of the massive needs for these nuclear plants is to power the massive AI infrastructures and data centers happening right now, right? I would say if AI wasn't evolving and we didn't need the amount of power, we wouldn't really have this type of nuclear discussion happening right now. But all big tech needs more power to power AI solutions. So if we do see something like this, one of the bottlenecks for the AI market is eventually going to be power constraints. And something like this can help ease that bottleneck in the future, right? We're still not, it's not something that would do immediate. There's still a lot of development and research that needs to happen and stuff like this, and to kind of work out and build out the infrastructure for it. So it's not an immediate answer, but it does kind of solve maybe some of the long-term bottlenecks that the AI space might face. And obviously that is very bullish for a company like NVIDIA and anybody else that deals in the data center market. I mean, we see NVIDIA is truly trying to kind of find all the bottlenecks and help it. The perfect example was a few days ago, we talked about the partnership that NVIDIA did with certain power companies to make sure they increase some of the power efficiency. This would just be another way that the bottlenecks continue to be solved for this AI infrastructure dilemma. And if you don't believe me, I mean, we can see Elon Musk says that AI data centers could face power capacity issues by the middle to end of next year. So it is something that we need to kind of keep a closer eye on, especially for national security. If you do have countries like China, which Elon Musk mentioned, that continues to have massive amount of AI of power and electrical power to be able to run these data centers. And to be crazy, right? Elon Musk is building a gigawatt-sized data center in Memphis or outside of Memphis, and a gigawatt is equivalent to the power capacity of the average nuclear plant in the United States. So there is massive demand out there for that. I have a few more topics I want to take a closer look at, but if you are enjoying the episode, make sure to hit the thumbs up, make sure to hit the subscribe button, check out the pinned comment for special offer at fool.com/Jose, my special offer at finchat.io/Jose, and a lot of cool things for free on my pinned comment description. Trying to hit 75,000 subs, so let's see if we can do it by the end of the year. Now, another thing that came out for OpenAI this week is OpenAI just announced that their operator is using OpenAI's O3 model. The operator has been updated with their latest reasoning model. Now, this is nothing new, but we are seeing more inference going into some of their overall core products, and something like this is going to use a lot more inference and compute. So something like this is obviously bullish, in my opinion, for the demand of AI solutions. So nothing crazy, nothing that in my opinion is going to create a market mover for AI stocks, but it is kind of a healthy indication that the AI market continues to innovate at some rapid pace. Now, a few other things that I want to talk about is some events. If you are an AMD shareholder, this upcoming next 2 to 3 weeks are going to be pretty busy for you. May 28th, they are at TD Cowen. June 3rd, they are at Bank of America. And June 12th, they are at AMD. Now, following NVIDIA has a very special event happening next week. Wednesday, we do have earnings, and another earnings that we do have next week is Marvell, which is on Thursday. I actually am pretty bullish on Marvell in the long term of things. The stock has fallen a nice amount. The stock is down nearly more than 50% from its overall 52 peak. I'm liking the stock. I'm not going to lie, but with earnings, obviously things can be very drastic and volatile. So definitely not one I would recommend to buy right now, but I could definitely see the growth opportunities. And while I'm obviously not recommending it for anybody, I'm still debating if I might add to my position at these levels. So I'll think about that over the weekend. I'm not making any decisions right now, but I do like the risk to reward ratio, understanding that there could be a lot of volatility on this coming week. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I'm not sure if I will have videos out on the weekend. I am traveling today, so I'm trying to get this video before I end up traveling. And again, I appreciate all the support. Next week is going to be crazy. Don't worry. At least Sunday, I will have at least NVIDIA pre-earnings video. So take care. Have a good day and see you all next time.